to the show. Welcome to the show. Cause if you didn't, now you know. Light it up, kid, give them a show. Be volcanic and just let it blow. Oh, make them shiver. They've been waiting for the real man, time to deliver. I'm magnetic, I move still. They can't feel it, soon they will. You spit electric, you shock with sight. Your sounds eclectic, the crowds ignite. They've been waiting for it, so just let them have it. Yeah, double stuff them like a sandwich, yo. If it ain't enough, to hell with it. Top pitch. Try me, buy me, ride me, tie me, then I'll make it exquisite. So you can fly me, wine me, die me, opining on me for a minute. Cause I really don't care, I just let it burn so long as I can feel it. Lie to me if you dare, cause
it's the only way I can believe it. It's the Gtalk. Sorry guys, we're going to the music. What's for dinner? Sorry, I lost track. I lost track of the time. Have you ever done that?
Lose track of time? Actually, every time we're doing a podcast,
there
I
you
lose
go.
track of time.
I have to remind us of the time, and I go, we've been doing this for like an hour and a half or hour 17.
I like when we play that game.
Frank,
guess how far along we are.
You're like 29 minutes. I'm like an hour and 43.
Yeah.
The hour of love. Do you have anything to say to Juan Soto?
I'm tired, dude. No, there will be no chips today, even though it's Friday. Frank is feeling calm.
You're feeling chill.
I'm feeling calm. It's Friday.
Okay.
Looking to just relax, maintain the peace.
We're gonna do our calm voice.
We're gonna do our calm voice.
Oh hey, I like this. Keep going.
Are we good with sound? Is it muted or?
No, you're good. Thank you for reminding me.
Okay.
You're good. Don't ever hesitate to remind me, because before we always do a sound test. For anybody, I'm going to be putting out, we both will. I mean, if you want to contribute, Frankie, some behind the scenes content from the Gtalk regarding how to make a podcast. And actually, I'm going to title it, this is going to be, hold on. How to create a #1 podcast.
That's right.
I mean, you got to think big, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to think big, and I'm going to invite people on our journey on how to create a #1 podcast.
Yeah.
Because we have dreams, don't we?
Yeah. Got a dream, baby. Got a dream.
Right. I did my homework. Tenemos sueños, right? Did I say that
Tienes
right?
que soñar.
I was going to say we have dreams.
Tienes sueños.
Tienes sueños.
Muy bien.
Yeah, it's similar. My mom, it's so funny, in Portugal, right here in America, my mom makes a dessert. One day when she makes it, it's a fried dough thing. You're going to have, I guarantee. Are you a fried dough type of guy, or are you more of like, I'm a chocolate guy. I need chocolate when it comes to the end of my meal. I need chocolate. I need something sweet.
I don't like chocolate.
Would you, if I gave you a freshly fried dough thing with cinnamon and sugar on top of it.
If your mother makes it, I'll try it.
With the crispy outside and a soft doughy inside? Is that up your alley?
Not really, but if your mom makes it, I'll try it.
Let me tell you, 99% of people absolutely love it.
All right.
I think you'll be part of that. I know you. I know you think you're special, and you are, my friend.
No, I like my sweets is all right. Now check this out. I like the bite size Snickers. They're like
who
this
doesn't?
big.
Oh my God!
But
Keep going. I want one.
But I don't like the big one because it's just too much.
Can I tell you? Keep going, but really quick. I agree 100%. There's a big difference between having. Oh God, I'm gonna walk right into this one. Having a bite size in your mouth and a big one.
Dude, like you didn't play that in your head first.
Okay.
Well,
go on.
No, I mean
I said it all.
Be free. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but when it comes to chocolate bite size, like I could do peanut M&Ms.
Oh heck yeah.
but I can't do regular M&Ms. It has to have the peanut.
You know what? It's funny you say that. Regular M&Ms to me, I don't like the texture of them. I don't know, or the size of them or something. I know I'm not going to go there.
Boy, you're 2 for 2.
I
All
mean,
right.
for God's sake, you know. But to your point, I like the crunch of a peanut M&M, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about? Are you a Twizzler person?
When I was younger, yes. Today, not really.
I hate. I'm sorry. I hate hate. Lord, I'm sorry. I don't hate, but
that's interesting. I try my best not to use the word hate.
We're gonna talk about that. It's a mindset thing. I don't like using words that might bring upon a manifestation of a thought.
Yes.
Like hate.
Yes.
Right? But go on.
I use the word dislike.
Dislike or not a fan of.
Yeah.
Right? Even dislike, sometimes I don't like to use.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of using it. But I'm glad to hear you say that because we're going to... I would put what we just said under creating a positive mindset. Just remember that.
Okay.
It's a hint of what we're going to do a little bit later.
Okay. Yeah, this co-host is going to surprise me with the subject. I'm going to have to do that to you, brother. I'm going to have to... Bring something on over here.
Bring it. I love it. I would love nothing more for me to go, all right, people, I don't know what we're doing, and here's Frankie. I would love that. Honest to God.
Yeah, I think next podcast I'm going to have to work on something.
You know what? All right. Y'all heard it.
Yeah.
It's put it, I need a better sound. Whatever. I don't know. One of them. But real quick to put a bow in there. I'm not a Twizzler person. I'm not a gummy person. I'm not a chewy, gooey end of that. Well, gooey, yeah, but not like gummy or that. Oh, I can't
Sour
stand
Patch
that
Kids?
stuff. Oh,
really?
Bleh.
Oh my goodness, my favorite.
No.
One of my favorite things to do, and I used to do with my son, is we try to match colors to see what will produce the best taste.
For which one?
Like the Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, it's just the flavor.
Yeah, I will take a red one and a yellow one and just put it in my mouth together. And
what are those little gummy? The flavored gummies. They're like little. They look like little kidneys. Jelly beans. Are they jelly bellies? Jelly Belly, right?
I don't know.
Well, there's different flavors. They even came out with like vomit flavor. And
that's some marketing genius.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, I'm getting that for you for your birthday one day. I think it's Jelly Belly.
Jelly Belly and vomit flavor.
There's a whole bunch of them. There's vomit flavor. There's pizza flavor, which is probably the same thing. There's all sorts of different flavors like snot.
Are you flipping?
I am Frank.
What marketing genius said, you know what, guys? This is the idea. We're going to make this candy, and we're going to say snot-flavored Jelly Bellies.
You ready? Let's do it real quick. I'm going to put it up here. This is not how I was planning on starting, but here. We're going to... Oh, no. We're going to here. Look at this. This is the list. I'm going to read it to you. Stinky socks. Bro. Stinky socks. Okay. Buttered popcorn. Okay. Rotten egg. Bro.
I'm interested in their sales for the last quarter.
But you know how brilliant, you talk about brilliant? They do a thing where it's a game. This is one of the games where everyone plays it together. And the colors are the same. So I'll put it on the screen. See if I could get a better picture of it. So right here. Oh, why can't I zoom into this shit? Oh, I didn't want to curse.
Mm-hmm.
But they have the same color, so you don't know which one you're getting. So one of them, the white one, could be coconut or spoiled milk. So you win or lose. One of them could be dead fish or strawberry banana smoothie. And it's the reaction of the person to see if everyone guesses if which one they got. It's like a game.
Oh, okay.
Everyone plays the game. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a game I will play, though.
Barf, so vomit and peach.
No, we're not. Oh, your face says it all.
Canned dog food or chocolate pudding.
I would not play. Dude, the grand prize could be.
What?
Well, that's definitely not for people our age.
Can I read the rest of it? This is ridiculous. We're gonna have to get this and do it on air, bro. We're gonna have to do this, because then it's two of us. We could see which one live gets the what.
Oh man, we're gonna have to bring a special guest for that because.
To administer it so we don't cheat. Oh my God, this is oh my! I'm so excited. We just came up on 4:23 p.m. on December 13th. By the way, happy birthday, Taylor Swift.
Oh, that's right. It's a birthday, mi amor. Happy birthday,
Would you
mi
like
amor.
to sing for her 35th birthday
No.
in Spanish?
No.
Okay, good. Me neither. But I want to say something real quick, Dur, before I'm going to come back to this jelly. I need to read these last ones out to you. Oh my flipping God. You're not, it's worse than the dog food.
Okay.
It's worse. So Taylor Swift, happy birthday to you. 35th birthday. Here you are here kissing your beau, your prince. Your prince. Good for you. A couple years ago, you had a cruel summer. You got broken up with. And then you shook it off, found your man, right? And then you filled your blank space with a love story.
Yeah.
I just did 4 Taylor Swift songs.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well
Big fan.
done.
Thank you. Well done. But Taylor Swift, happy birthday to you, my dear.
Happy birthday, mi amor. Te quiero mucho, coño.
In some languages, you just asked for something from her, but that's okay.
No, I said, happy birthday. I love you a lot. Damn it.
By the way, remind me to read what your thing says. It's hilarious. Yeah, mine is, I'm so very self-deprecating here. But happy birthday, Taylor Swift, 35 years old, who I believe is going to be our future president one day.
I'll vote for her. Actually, no, I got to see.
Even if you wouldn't vote for her, guess who would vote for her?
Everybody else.
All the Swifties and all the people that have been kissing her for the last 2 years. How successful of a badass businesswoman. You talk about how businessman Trump is. For her re-recording her albums and taking them back.
Yeah.
We talked about that before, right? And her then having a tour and saying, you know what, play 30 songs? No, I'm going to play 44. And we're going to make it whatever it costs, get them out there. But I'm going to play 44 songs. We're going to have an amazing stage. We're going to keep going for 2 years and make $1.6 billion on tour. Or $2 billion.
No, it was over $2 billion.
It was over 2. She's now estimated her net worth, which doesn't mean her cash in the bank. But her net worth, if she wanted to sell all her assets and everything, $1.6 billion.
Yeah.
You telling me, Frank, that you wouldn't at least consider someone who is well learned? We were talking about it before, right? Smart as a tack, has an ability to communicate effectively, obviously get some great advice, because there's no way, I'm not saying she didn't come up with all that stuff herself. Her music she did. A lot of people don't know that. Now they do. They didn't know that before. But someone that has a following, you wouldn't even consider it. She would probably run as a Democrat. Though I think that would be a massive mistake for her to do that. But go ahead. And I don't think she should run as a Republican. I think she should run completely independent. But
yeah.
But go on.
Yeah. No.
I mean, it's tough for me to say because you don't know what she's going to do, right?
Yeah. I'm not the type of person that will vote someone because I like them.
Okay. Better question. You ready? This is not to put you up against a wall. Is it out of this now that we saw Donald Trump come out and is it out of the spectrum of voting for Taylor Swift?
If a freaking felon could become president, then anybody could freaking be president.
Has Taylor Swift committed any crimes other than stealing hearts and putting them on albums?
For her, shit, I think she has the right ideas. It's like treat people like human. I think that's one way to, a good way to start. At
the very least, Frankie, it's a good start. You beat me to it. It's a good start. And if she didn't know jack about politics, and trust me, she do, it would be a great start. She's got a fan base. She's got capital, so she's not going to be influenced. That's what a lot of people say about Donald Trump. And I agree and I disagree. They say people in the news, people around him, his immediate inner circle. Donald Trump doesn't need he's not influenced by people. He doesn't need their money, yet he's hawking stuff. And this is a fact. I'm not trying to be good for you, bro. I'm not going to, if someone's hawking some stuff that there is a value and someone wants to buy it, by all means, please do it.
Those digital trading cards that he was trading for $100 a pop, him, his face in Rocky's body, his face as a cowboy, spaceman.
Cowboy, space alien, whatever.
It's, and people say, oh my God, I'm voting for that.
But I got to tell you, man, I'm not, unlike a lot of my friends who have torn him apart for that kind of stuff. I'm not. Listen, if there's a way you could make a stream of revenue that could bring in some money, go for it. As long as you're not, and this is where the fine line. And I think you're right in many cases. If you're not taking advantage of people with a poor product, maybe you don't agree with the product, whatever. I don't agree with that stuff either. But I'm not going to stop anyone from eliminate a stream of revenue from them thinking they have all the money in the world. I think we all know that there's never enough money if you have big dreams, right? Right, Taylor Swift? Mm-hmm. But there's never enough places if you have good intentions. If you take in all this, like if we've talked about this, right? Where if you got a good amount of money and I had a good amount of money, where we would use our resources to help people, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to tell Donald Trump what to do with his money or anyone else, Elon Musk or whatever, or even Taylor Swift. But at the same,
Taylor Swift, after she did her last show a couple days ago.
In Vancouver, I believe.
Yes. And she gave her crew, the dancers, the truck drivers, the people that set up the stage, $196 million combined.
She did it again.
Total to all of them. $196 million.
She did it again because she did it the last. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
For Christmas last year, I think it was total 40 something million.
Wow.
This time, the last show.
How great is that?
Is the appreciation. She's saying, you guys, when she's doing one show and she's performing somewhere else, they're already building that stage. That stage takes about...
There's at least 2 stages. There's got to be.
Yeah, there's 2 stages. And I saw this in some documentary in the era. It wasn't a documentary. It was like a show that was just saying how, they put the stage together and stuff. Mm-hmm. And, they're working on it the day before. And then, the sound check, the lights, and everything.
I mean, did you see the picture of the stage or even a video?
Dude, I seen the Eras tour and the Disney Channel.
It's amazing.
Dude, I watched that show at least 5-6 times.
The way the stage, the whole thing is can be lit up, has pictures. There's one scene in it that's brilliant where it cracks like a mirror, and she with her foot she goes, "Gah!"
Yeah,
she's like. And exactly where she hits, I think she's got. They freaking TikTok revealed how there's like a little light, and she goes to the light, and she at the right time. It's just, and then she swims, she dives into it,
into the thing, and it shows her swimming from one side of the stage to the other side.
And not to mention Frankie, she's an amazing performer.
Yes, dude. The show is about 3 hours long. No intermission.
None. I think it's like 44 songs. And plus a bunch of extras sometimes here and there. Mm-hmm. And it's day after day. It's not like she goes and does 2 a week. Mm-hmm. She's doing it's 152 shows over the course of the last couple of years, right? She took a break for a little bit. You do the math. I mean, that's 3-4 weeks sometimes. That's a lot of travel. It's a lot of whatever in your voice. Bro. El Presidente is going to be well versed on travel when she has her Swifties voting for her. I'm going to throw it out there. I think in 10 years she might be our president, or at the very least she'll run. Why not? Why not?
I don't know. I think her
just
passion is music.
I think her passion. Sorry to interrupt. Might change once she has a kid or 2. Mm. You know what I mean? Then she might say, "I need to improve this world around me." The music's not because that's my one criticism if I have one of Taylor Swift. And how dare I? But hey, we're podcasters. Nobody's listening now, but one day they might. Not a criticism, but a suggestion. It's about time she starts talking about political issues on a more front way. She's got it buried in her music in multiple levels. Like the song,
"Smallest Man That Ever Lived."
No, that's a straight hit on. That's not Trump. That's straight on one of her ex-boyfriends. There's no allegory there.
That song.
There's no allegory there.
Was the most streamed song once Trump was elected.
Can I be honest with you though? And this is one of the things I would tell her. I listened to Tortured Poets Department. I didn't like it. I think that was beneath her. It was a straight hit job on all the people she didn't like. And I'm not saying that she doesn't have an ability to do that. I think that was beneath her, and I hope she doesn't do another album like that. There's some beautiful moments in the album. I will not. I mean, there's freaking 30-something songs, that's extra. But she just went on a lambasting of a lot of people and look, deservedly so, girl. If you want to do that, that's everyone needs to have their outlet. But I think it's time she finally starts singing about issues. That song, "You're Being Too Loud," you need to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
There's look at the video itself, right?
Yeah, that was an awesome video.
That is dude, there's a lot of stars in it. I think Ryan Reynolds is it, Katy Perry. I think Katy Perry's like the hot dog or something.
She's
or the hamburger.
The hamburger, and Taylor's the fries.
So
but
cool.
yeah, Ellen DeGeneres was on it.
Yes. A lot of stars were on it.
I don't know if it was RuPaul.
Yes.
He
yes.
was
without
there.
the hair. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's it's just funny. Like you just say, like, you need to calm down.
You're being too loud. Can you imagine? That's how it started. These people need to calm down.
Yeah.
They're being too loud. But you know what? She speaks in levels.
Yeah.
That song is also about her fans. You need to calm down. You're being too loud. Calm down.
Yeah.
We could all kind of, because her fans are nasty to each other if they don't fall in line and agree to. Like what I just said about Tortured Poet Department, I would be torn apart by a Swiftie right now. How dare you?
Yeah,
my God.
I'm holding back. Believe me.
Because I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I know Taylor Swift's music really well, and I know the layers. That was not her best work. Sorry, Taylor.
With
it's not.
You see, like,
higher standard girl.
I'm a huge Taylor Swift. I freaking love her, and I mean, I'm not attracted to her in that way.
Me neither. Not my type.
Right. Well, she's totally my type, but
Tay.
But like, I cannot identify. Like, one of my favorite songs is "All Too Well."
Oh, kid, that song. It's like you want to destroy me in 10 minutes. There you go.
Yeah, and
oh my God, that song. Holy jeebus, that song.
I don't know what album that came from. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I struggle to. I think that Red, maybe. I don't know. No clue.
I have no idea.
Something's like, you don't even know what album All Too Well came out of.
If you know it, good for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying I don't know it, and that's okay.
And we're men.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, the fact that we even know.
Trouble is a song that I really, really like.
I love Champagne Problems because it reminds me of my own champagne problems. And I think she's talking about multiple type. She's not just talking about her own champagne problems. She's talking about the champagne problems of the people around her, and including herself. But do you know that the thing behind Champagne Problems? She's also, and I would love for her to hear us talking about it. Never happened, but
no, it'll get to her
one day.
It'll get to her,
especially if I do enough Pat Mahomes impressions. Yeah. What's up, guys? I believe Champagne Problems. Part of it is her saying to people, everyone looks, they're like, what's she? She's got all the money. She's got all the fans. Look at her. She's probably having her champagne problems in her little mansion. And it's like, she's probably drinking wine out of a box and crying her ass to sleep because she's just like all of us. And we're going to talk about that in a second. Where when you strip away the money, the fame, which makes it worse, right? You strip away her job, all that stuff. She's just like you and me, my friend, or anyone else that's sad or depressed. She's got to deal with the emotions. She's got to deal with the energy inside of her, and no trip in her Lamborghini around the block is going to make it any better. She's going to have to deal with it in her head, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at like, for example, we recently went through our stuff, and we're still going through it.
Absolutely.
And we had our own. We try to find our way to try to heal and get better. And she just put her stuff on paper and made a song out of it. Yep. Geniusly.
Well, very eloquently.
Yeah,
right?
And she made it work. And as a result, she's, the number one performer in the world right now. And,
well earned.
Yes, very well earned. And to me, it's like, how could you not love her? And again, I'm not familiar with all of her songs.
Me neither.
When I listen to her, I listen to like 10 or 12 songs that I really, really like.
What's another one you like?
Like
what's one where she might be surprised that a guy likes? Because All Too Well is basically, we guys, it's like going back to our thing about we just love the pain from the, the one where she's swinging the golf club. Guys only love it when it's torture.
Yeah.
That's what All Too Well is. It's torture for men.
That one, I believe, is called Blank Space.
Yeah.
I like Blank Space. And I like the video, too, man. She's so freaking smart.
Good. Oh, she's yelling.
And what else?
How about this? You ready? I'm going to shock you. Starlight.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Look up Starlight. There's something about that song, and I actually wrote a song in response to that. It's called Stardust. One day.
I like Enchanted.
Is enchanting to me.
And
people are like, Swifties like, shh.
I like that at the end, and I didn't realize it's way later. When she said, "Please don't be in love with someone else," I was like,
"Please don't let anyone be waiting on you either."
Yes, and I was like, my jaw dropped when she said that because of something that I will not say here. I could tell you off the air.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shit, I totally missed that."
Right.
And I was like, you know how genius that is?
She speaks in layers, man.
Dude,
layers.
That is just incredibly genius.
Right?
I was
like, there's a weird thing going on with this has become a Taylor Swift thing. It's okay.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing going on between Cardigan and Willow, especially the videos are interconnected.
Mm-hmm.
And I guarantee if I interviewed Taylor Swift, it would be her. I'm going to throw it out there. We're going to post this one day. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. I'm not equating myself, but I write songs. I do art. I do poetry as well. And I've decoded Taylor Swift. I know what she's talking about. Girl, I know what you wrote about last summer, that cruel summer. I know about it. And I know her because I write in layers too. That song, our intro song, people, I don't want to admit it, but someone on this podcast might have written that entire song, and it's in layers.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave that there. But what I'm trying to say is with Taylor Swift, a song like that has its layers, right? She writes in layers because she's that intelligent. And let's be honest, you get good enough at your job, you start to be able to put more stuff into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, the song Lover, there's the sound to the Lover, whatever. Swifties are like, stop singing. The song Lover where they go into different colored rooms in the video. There's something about the timelessness of the song. It ends up with her and the supposed husband or something. I guess the kid comes, it's Christmas morning or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You'll say, but Starlight, look up Starlight. It's
okay.
just such a, it's just, I don't know. It hit me a certain way.
Yeah.
But
you want to hear something funny?
Go for it. I can't believe we're talking about freaking Taylor Swift right now.
Oh my goodness, dude.
We're dissecting Taylor Swift on the Gtalk.
And by the way, if this is the subject you had to surprise me,
no,
well
it's
done.
not. But
well
go
done.
on. No, this is not. But I'm loving it. Right? Hey.
When I relocated over here, it was a Friday, and I was here like by noonish. I was in town, and the first couple of days I was just like, fuck it, we're gonna. I'm just gonna, party out, whatever, and accept the fact. And I texted my wife, and I, called her, and I was going to the supermarket, and it was her favorite supermarket. I'm like, oh, look, I won't say the name unless they endorse us. And
it's not. It doesn't sound like a male strip club or an all-male
no,
review.
it does not.
Okay.
And then Monday came once all the drinking stopped.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Chicago, this is
Toledo. It's bad.
Yeah. And then I spoke to her that Wednesday, and that's when everything started.
Yeah.
But from Monday, I couldn't listen to music, no music at all. Like I'd, say, Alexa, play Taylor Swift. And the beat just said, I'm like, nope, Alexa, off. I can't do it. And my sister listening to music, I'm like, I can't do that either. And 2 weeks.
Did you listen to Taylor?
No, I couldn't listen to her.
Nothing.
Nothing. 2 weeks radio silent.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's how impactful music is to you. Me too.
Yeah, it triggered me. Like it was like a punch to the stomach.
Wow.
Yeah, and so all I could do is just listen to stand up comedy to
Get that resonance back up.
but 2 weeks when I finally was able to listen to Taylor Swift. I remember it was I think a Sunday after my second time going to church.
So it took you a while to really get back into the. Wow.
Yeah, and I was listening with caution. Even the radio when I'm driving to anywhere, I wouldn't listen to the radio. Like I put the radio on.
Same
I'm like,
here.
nope,
Same here.
don't want to hear this shit.
Nope.
Shit, even Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You." Nope, can't do you either,
A
girl.
song a song that helps remind you that we're in the the Christmas holiday, and you're like, nope,
can't do it. And
I'm gonna admit something to you that I've never admitted in public, and it might shock you. You ready? This is going back last summer. You said you knew what I did last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Last summer was a cruel summer for me, and I'm being real. It was the impetus of clearing my mind and going through, I think, through 3 or 4 months worth of a psychosis, quite frankly, getting off of antidepressants and trying to lose weight and purify my body and start thinking, all these different things to try to get myself into a healing place. And just not knowing who I was anymore, and thankfully got through it. I documented all of it, by the way. One day I'll reveal it and see if I could help somebody. You could see my psychosis. I mean, it's obvious. I saw parts of it today. I go, wow. Thank God I documented it, because you could tell I was struggling and I was hurting inside. And one of the things that started, I didn't want to listen to music. When you said that, it reminded me just now. And my kids, we had an Alexa. And this was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year. And or maybe the year before. But either way, where we got the Alexa, and my daughter used to be like, Alexa, play Taylor Swift, and it'd be like, not Bad Company, Bad Blood, I don't love nobody. If people are like, please stop singing. Hey, well, what are you going to do? And, or the other one where it was two hard sounding songs, like Bad Blood and I forget, but I forget which one it was. Either way. And I didn't know much about Taylor Swift at all. I thought she was just some blonde chick, and pardon me for saying this, I'm just going to say it out there. Some blonde chick from Tennessee who's a country girl that sings about never getting back together and some stuff. And I found out that she sang these two songs. I'm like, wow, what a change in her sound, right? And then I ended up hearing Lavender Haze from her album Midnights, which is my favorite album ever. That much I could tell you. If you put All Too Well on there, it's enough to drive me nuts. Mm-hmm. But there's another song on that album that changed my life. I'm being real. Anti-Hero. Especially the video, which is you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I really like that song.
She gives us the cheat code to understanding Taylor Swift in the video. Mm-hmm. It's very obvious. The ghosts around, the fact that there's two Taylor Swifts in the video, right? It's like left, right brain, right? And the battle back and forth of once you realize there's another part of you, a personality inside you, and we all have that. I'm convinced. I mean, ask Sigmund Freud. Psychologists know the conscious, subconscious, there's a left, right brain, whatever. We've been trying to hide it a number of different ways. And I think part of it and listen, we're not therapists, right, Frankie?
No.
We're not therapists.
No.
If you're listening, because we're about to do something and just a reminder, we are not therapists.
We're not therapists. Disclaimer, okay?
We're not therapists.
We said it more than once. So, this is a podcast.
For entertainment purposes only, information, we hope. Our goal is to inform, to entertain, and to inspire, right? But check our information with somebody else first. And if you're feeling some deep thoughts, or we normally don't talk to the audience like this, we talk to each other, but I think it's important what we're about to talk about and what I'm about to reveal to you, which I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. And I didn't think I'm just going to go. I'm mesmerized. This is such a great way to start and to bleed into what we're going to talk to. But and if anyone's feeling anything, talk to someone, call a support line, whatever. What is the number, the universal number?
988.
988. Is it just 988?
988, that's it.
Right. Please, because we're going to get deep. But we're going to be very strategic and very thoughtful about what we're going to talk about to give people tips, specific tools.
Yeah, and you could email us because the primary goal that why we started this was to help people, because what I went through, what Jay went through, we don't want anybody to go through it, but it's inevitable because it happens. And again, like we said in a previous episode, if this existed when we was going through our stuff, it would have been a huge help.
Massive help.
Because what helped us was talking to each other. Yeah. And I think Jay was like, if imagine somebody listening to this conversation, they're going through this could probably help.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, it's like, it is 2024. People do podcasts, and here we are.
Here we are. So let me reveal to you why that song, and I'll do it real quick. We're only 36 minutes in. Why that song is very significant for me. Because I didn't know much about Taylor Swift, and because all of a sudden I appreciated her music, I started kind of looking into her stuff and kind of started doing a deep dive into, anytime I appreciate an artist, I want to see their chops, how well of a writer they are, because I'm a big fan of great writing. I'm a big U2 fan, and Bono, whether you like him or not, he's a poet. He's an amazing writer, lyricist. Taylor Swift and Bono write poems. They write stories. They write novels that are put within 3 to 4 minutes worth of time, right? Mm-hmm. But in layers, with narrative. She's probably, quite frankly, the best storyteller that we have right now in music. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Be able to tell stories and narratives and bring it back around.
And deliver it with a nice melody, incredible production.
Right.
And boy, if she makes a video to it too, it
kills.
Yeah.
Right? It's amazing. I mean, just even a song that's, sorry Swifties, a subpar song, like I Can See You. That video was badass. But she's in the vault and they take her out of the vault. I don't think I've seen that one. You, boop. I'm sorry. I'll stop. But let me get to this real quick, because I don't want to shorten what we're going to do after from this. This is such a beautiful lead-in. But here I am looking at this. I find out, wow, she's a lot more successful than I thought. She's got a lot of money. Let's be honest. She's got quite a bit of cred in the industry now. All of a sudden, I didn't even realize that Kanye thing, the whole thing with the award. I didn't realize it. But as I did my research, I went back and when I'm interested in an artist, I want to know what they're all about. So I spent a few weeks doing that. And then I saw the video for Anti-Hero. Anti. Everyone says anti. Because if you say anti, if you replace hero, what would you put there if it was the opposite of a hero?
Villain.
Antichrist. She's making a little, Taylor, I got you, girl. Mm-hmm. That's why you call it anti-hero, as an anti-up or your anti whatever. Because if she went and called it anti-hero, well, what's an anti-hero? A villain or an antichrist, right? Because she's saying, they're already idolizing me. Look at that. And these ghosts around, she talks about in her music on that album about all this nonsense that's built around her for Midnights, and how she just get it off my chest, get it off my desk in Lavender Haze, right? And she talks about, she now has this massive organization around her, all these fans. There's people up her ass constantly. She's dated all these people, and good for you, girl. I date as many people as you want, and hopefully you found your prince. But at the end of the day, you still can't escape your ghosts. They're in your house, right? As the video says, regardless of how much money you have or don't have, regardless of how many awards you have, if the ghosts are in your house and you're looking in the mirror, you have to deal with your demons. And she admits passionately in the song, it's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. It's a therapy song, Frank. Mm-hmm. It's like she admits, I'm the problem. It's me.
Yeah.
I hear that and I go, wow. even with all your fame and your money, you still have the same problems I have.
Yeah.
You're pushing it on other people. I could only assume by the lyrics. And you need kind of your left or right brain or whoever the other person is crashing the guitar to remind you to have fun, to not take it seriously, and to, it says everyone will betray you in that thing, right? It's like she's kind of, okay, I'm the problem. I let this happen to myself. I put myself in this situation. I'm going to get myself out of it. What say you before I move on?
Yeah. When she said that, when you said, the left part and the right part of the brain, and I know you was going to go to the chorus of the song with it, because at the end, it's like, it's still me.
It's still me.
And it's like, so the right side of the brain, let's say, the angel over here with the devil over here.
Yeah.
And, they mean, it's like, it's me. Hi.
Yeah.
And it's like you're the same entity, but it's that split where we, when we come to making decisions and anything,
we argue with ourselves.
Yeah. Oh my God. What's that old saying? Oh goodness, I don't remember right now, but yeah, it comes down that we are our own problems. Most times we create our own problems with, decisions we make. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But at the end, it's like, yeah, it's me.
Hi, I'm the problem.
Hi.
I'm the problem. Guess what? I'm the solution.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Because Frankie, say it with me. What's the only two things you can do when presented with any situation?
You could accept it or change your attitude about it, something to that effect.
Close. Accept it. You could change your attitude to it, or you change your situation. Right?
Yes.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
I didn't come up with that. That's been around for a long time. And you have to admit, it's me. Hi.
Yeah.
I'm the problem. And guess what? I'm also the solution. Right?
Yeah.
And when I heard that song for the first time and I saw the video, it decoded the whole thing, including at the very end, who comes walking towards the two Taylors? The real tall Taylor, the one that the whole world sees. And she shares the bottle of wine with her.
Yeah.
And it's the funniest. It's
genius, dude. It's freaking genius.
Frank, that one video decodes. I got you, girl. It decodes the whole album. That's why she specifically, because there's a break in the thing where she's dead, unalive. In the, she's in the casket and they fight. There's a whole scene. It's a brilliant, funny scene where it's like she leaves them 13 cents. Yeah. It's so brilliant. Oh my God. And she directed the whole thing. She's so smart. Travis, my boy, dear, do your warning to Travis.
You heard her. I'm going to join the Niners and I will see you.
Then you did your research. But seriously, to move this on, because we're 43 minutes in, kid.
43 minutes in. Taylor does that to you. You know what I'm saying?
She does that to me. But really quick, I heard that song and I'm like, wow, even she goes through this stuff. Even the split personality thing. Not accusing her of that, but I'm just saying, thinking the different personalities in your head and different thought process. And I was like mesmerized, like, wow. And it really helped us, I won't say it saved my life. I won't, overblow it that way. But it was one of the things that I really took to heart. And I said, wow. Someone else that has, you'd think, everything is going through almost exactly what I'm going through, challenging the world around me. I just lost my job at the bank. I know that's not her thing, but in other words, big trauma. Everyone has their opinions around me, which I not like her. I'm not equating, but didn't know how to deal with it. Trying to figure out, who the heck am I? Am I my job or am I me? Right? Would they understand me? She walks in the video, she walks into the dining room. We're all sitting there. And it's like, she even says in the song, basically, coming into your city or something like that. And it's like, she's the one that's ruining everything. She comes in, pulls the thing on the table. And she's like, I can't even hang out with regular people anymore. And I didn't have that feeling, but it's like, I can't even hang out with the people around me anymore because they don't even know who I am. I don't know who they are. It was just weird. And then when I heard that song sung by a guy, Dermot Kennedy, I think, on BBC One. If you YouTube it, it is a brilliant version of it. You should listen to it. It's tear. I cried. Where he's like, it's me. Like emotion. She pops it up a little bit. She makes it a little poppy. to kind of downgrade the seriousness of the song. And there's the humor in the video, but the video can get a little dark. This guy on BBC One, I think, or BBC whatever, if you YouTube it, I think it's Dermot Kennedy, brilliant Irish musician who covered the song, a very passionate version of the song, made me cry. And that unlocked the song for me. That's when I said to myself, wow, that song is deep, deeper than she's leading on to be. And that helped with my catharsis and my healing. And it kind of, then I started looking into her music more. And I got to tell you, it's, you know, she's a wonderful performer, wonderful artist. I can only assume a wonderful human being. You can't fake. I've seen her in enough interviews. You can't fake it that well.
Yeah.
You know, just to look in her eyes and all that stuff. But to put a bow on Taylor Swift, you know, her value to me as just a person is tremendous. You know, I have a great appreciation for her, as millions of others do. I'm not the only one. But that, Anti-Hero helped the process of me turning around my life. So if you want to say save my life, you think that's a little bit hyperbolic, fine. I'm still here. I almost wasn't. That's a whole other thing. We'll go into it another time. But you put a bow on it, say what you need to say, and then we'll move on to the next thing.
You know, as funny story, my wife wasn't crazy about Taylor Swift just because
really
I used to play her too many times.
Oh, okay.
But,
it's a jealousy thing.
My thing was I normally cook dinner because she worked a little bit later, and I get off of work just about 4-ish.
When you're not buying outfits for her that she loves, you're cooking dinner for her. Hey, ladies.
And my thing is, it's like, you know, so Alexa play my favorites, and it's like my favorite songs of Taylor, and along with some others.
Sure.
And, you know, get a glass of Merlot, and I started doing my thing. And she heard this every single day for a very long time. And she was like, oh, you're always playing her. And I'm like, I don't always play her. I just play her when I'm cooking, you know, because when we're hanging out and, you know, we're listening to other music.
Hey, wait.
But then when the Eras tour came out, it's, you know, Spanish music and shit.
No, that's her song. I stay out too late.
Oh, I love that song. It's one of my favorites.
But it sounds very Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah, so when the Eras tour came out, we watched it together, and she became a fan. But
it's hard not to, right?
Yeah, and she said, "Oh my goodness, you could tell she doesn't have a bad bone in her body." And I'm like, yeah, I agree. And, you know, that's another thing I like about her. But she doesn't like to listen to her every day. Me, I don't mind because
good music's good music, right? Whether you listen to it or not, might as well listen to it.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, Taylor is. We'll have to invite her to the show one day. You know,
one day. Yeah. One of my bucket list things on this show or whatever show we end up doing, if this morphs into another show, I would love to interview Taylor Swift. It would be unlike any interview she'd ever have, because I hear a lot of the interviews and they're so pandering or they're just so blah. I'm a fan. Frankie's a fan. I've dissected your music, my lady. And I'm not trying to be invasive or violating. I think she puts codes out there and she wants for her fans. Well, I know what you're talking about.
Well, when she won Artist of the Year for the 4th year in a row, she had the Tortured Poets Department album coming out.
Yep.
And she went like this at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a radio station in New York said, why did she do this? You know, we're doing okay here. You know, like, why do this? And they said, do you think maybe it's a double album?
And it was.
And it was. And somebody got it right in one of the radio stations from New York. And I was like, holy crap. Like,
but I will say this, and I'll put a bow on Taylor Swift, and we'll move on to the next thing. Or we could talk a little longer. We could come back to this. I hope that, and I think making it black and white, I think I would love to see her embrace motherhood or before that, you know what I mean? Embrace being a bride. You know, it looks like this is going to end up, you know, something where it's going to end that way. I have a theory that she's already engaged and he did it on her birthday last year, and they kept, I think Travis Kelce would have, prediction. December 12/13 on her birthday, 5:02 p.m. If he didn't do it last year, he did it this year, where he gave her something corny like his Super Bowl ring or something and said, "Shh, that's for us." I think they're already engaged because there was heavy rumors that he asked her father within like a few months of dating her. No, wouldn't you? Her father seems like the funniest, dorkiest guy. You talk about somebody that Travis would meet and go, "Oh, okay. I see where she gets her quirky sense of humor. All right, this guy." And her mom seems like a really sweet human being. They all,
Yeah, they look like a nice family.
Oh my God. And her brother seems like there's a picture somewhere of all four of them doing something to one of her guitars. I don't know if you've ever seen the photo. Like, I think her dad is stringing it. Her mom is helping out. Her brother's doing something with it. And it just seemed, it was such a beautiful moment. Like, they're backstage and they're doing like something together as a family. And I thought they're all supportive of her, even her brother. I mean, it must be really difficult to be Taylor Swift's brother, don't you think?
I'd imagine.
He's not an artist of her caliber. He's not an artist.
Yeah.
Let's say he's a plumber. Swift Plumbing.
Yeah.
I mean,
imagine
Swift Plumbing. We'll get that shit going swift. Oh, that was so corny. I just realized what I said.
You're on the
Dad
road
joke.
today. You're on the road today.
Oh my God. But let me put a bow on that. If we ever got a chance to interview Taylor Swift, it would be her best interview ever. I'm truly a fan, but I'm not so much of a fan where, and neither are you, where we would completely kiss her booty hole and pander. I mean, I would ask her what are the questions would be for whether or not some of these songs are multi-layered. I'd love to talk to her about Anti-Hero. I'd love to talk to her about, what comes next after Tortured Poets. I think if she becomes a bride and then eventually a mother and she takes some time away from this, a couple of years or a few years, I think her next album would be her best album ever, because I think then she truly would have a good reflection on what, she called it the Eras Tour for a reason. It's all the eras going back, because what's next? Well, the future. And I think her next album will be her best up until that point, because if she has anything that she could write about that she hasn't written about, it's getting married and potentially being a wife and a mother. That's going to completely change her, right? I think at the end of the day, if she becomes more family, like not like a family-oriented show, I'm not saying that. I'm saying people then start buying into, okay, she's not just some young chick anymore that's flying around, all of the world. She's actually a mom. She's a family person, and more of America starts to see her as such. Then you'll start seeing the calls for her to run for president, guarantee, because they'll understand, okay, she's a billionaire and she doesn't understand about groceries like I do right now. Maybe not to say she never did, but she's a family person. She understands family now. She understands having a kid, whatever. Okay. And she's smart. Okay, I'll consider her for the ticket. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Again, let's get there. Let's see what your views are. I mean, I have an idea of what direction she may go, and go from there.
But again, not out of the realm of possibility. Now that we've seen one person who never had any experience in government, right?
Well, you say the right things to the right people.
Have enough money.
You're gonna. So, yeah.
We'll move on from that.
Yeah.
So Taylor, my lady,
Mi amor, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes, this
ching,
one's
ching.
for you.
Ching ching. We do that for you, my lady. So, by the way, the drones in the sky, we could skip that, but you see these drones in the sky that's all over New Jersey and stuff? Have you heard about that? Here, I'll put this up. There's all these massive drones flying around New Jersey, parts of New York. They're flying around military bases. They're like 6 feet wide. And it's all over the news. Mysterious aircrafts are flying over New Jersey. They're massive drones.
Oh, yeah. I heard that one of them crashed nearby.
Crashed and destroyed the part of the road that it crashed, I believe. I saw the photo. It looked like the road was like, it was cracked. Massive, right? People are thinking it's like UFOs and stuff. I'm just like, bro. By the way, one day we're going to have to talk about that. Do you believe possible?
UFOs? You know what? Trump became president again. I believe
Anything's
anything.
possible.
You know what I'm saying?
But you want to see proof.
I need data. I
Right?
need information.
Yeah. Except for dragging some alien body out in front of you and saying, there you go. You need a little bit more proof than some blurry photos in the sky, right?
You know, I need to see it.
Yeah.
You know, if they would ever to be, they're gonna look at us and be like, "Why the fuck would we go over there?" You know what I'm saying?
What would they need?
Mano, I just freaking cursed.
What would they? Hopefully you don't cry for this next thing. But we'll move on. So we're 55 minutes. Oh, me with my ums. I gotta these ums.
Yeah, no, that's something I'm trying to practice.
I'm trying to practice too. 55 on the nose. Let's get rid of this. I don't need that. Oh, let me read your thing. You ready? Frankie, hombre del pueblo.
Hombre del pueblo.
Yeah, that's you, my friend.
All right.
You want to translate for everybody what that means?
Man of the town.
Man of the town or man of the people, right? And mine is part-time elf.
Part-time elf.
Part-time elf. That's my part-time job. You know, I sit on various shelves.
I admire your creativity.
I sit on various shelves when the elf on the shelf needs a break. I put on my thing, and yeah, it's a whole it's a tough job. Yeah, the travel is difficult. So we talked about. Let me get rid of Jelly Belly. Oh, I got to read the last thing. Ready? Real quick. Here we go. Bro, wait till. Booger. Juicy pear. So it'd be two green ones. So you either get booger or juicy pear. Moldy cheese or caramel popcorn. Caramel corn, it says. Stinky socks. I don't even want to know. Tutti Frutti. Lawn clippings. Like grass clippings. I mean...
You probably smoked that one, but...
Grass clippings or lime, right? I mean, we got to get this. We got to do this on the show because there's two. So you would get one, the same color. I would get one, and we could try it. This would be so much fun.
It sounds like a great Christmas gift to play at home with the family.
We got to do it. Oh, my God. We got to do it. That's so much fun. The look on our faces would be great. And we'd play the game. And
no, if I agreed to do
come
that.
On.
That podcast would have to be pay-per-view.
Patreon behind the paywall. Imagine stinky socks with whiskey. What can go wrong?
Absolutely nothing.
Rotten egg and whiskey.
Sounds like
sounds like a plan.
You know, perfect breakfast.
Oh, got breakfast of I don't know, people who vomit in the morning. So, one of the things. Can I move on from that?
Please.
One of the things that we've been talking about, and it's the genesis of this pod, the impetus, the origin, the reason why we do this. Even though we talk about all these things, it's fun. I love that we talked about Taylor Swift. I just wanted to talk about her birthday for 2 minutes and move on. I thought we were going to talk more about the drones, and I can't wait to listen to that back. I didn't know you were a fan.
Dude, oh goodness.
Would you call yourself a Swiftie?
I am a Swiftie.
I would say... we'll have to look up what it means to be a Swiftie. Like, how much Taylor Swift knowledge would you have to be designated
if
a Swiftie?
If you are a fan and you enjoy her music, you could call yourself a Swiftie.
It's inclusive, right?
It's
inclusive.
Like, you're not required to take a class
or a test.
You know?
Well, ask any other Swiftie, they might say, you know, a true Swiftie.
And it's like, no, I'm a Swiftie.
Yeah.
What? Because you know every song of every album?
Or are you a Swiftie or a Swifto? Swifta, Swifto. Latina, Latino. So to go back to what I was talking about with her, about therapy, right? She talks about in her music, especially, not just Anti-Hero, a number of songs about just really dealing with really tough issues. But I think what really drew me to Anti-Hero was starting with yourself, the X, right? Starting with the one thing I can control, which is me, what's inside of me and what's around me, right? And how I react to it. I've said this before, Frank, and this is not the first time you'll hear it, and not the last. Our success in life, I truly believe, because life, L-I-F-E, is to be lived for the experience, right? Live it for the experience. Because everything else you leave behind. You take the experience with you. I truly believe it. And part of that experience is, interacting with other people, interacting with nature, interacting with something other than yourself to further prove your worth, your value in this world, the energy you could provide to the world, not just take from it. Some people take more than they give. It's the truth. But I truly believe everyone's success in this world, and I'm going to get your take on this, is the way they could successfully manage the energies inside of them, their emotions, their thoughts and feelings, along with the energies around them and outside of them, and find a balance somewhere in there where they can achieve serenity, a peace. And before they leave this world, to leave some positive energy behind, to leave it a little bit better than when they came in. What say you? What do you think about what I just said? Did I hit you again with another one?
No, I got a lot to say, dude.
Go for it.
Yesterday, I had a conversation with a friend of mine that's very special and dear to me. No, this was actually a couple of days ago when we did our last pod.
Okay.
That was talking about healthcare. And,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, I hate that we...
Hate.
I dislike that this is the way we are. And she told me, Frank, whatever change you want to see, it starts with you.
It's me.
Hi. And I, like she's in healthcare and she is implementing the changes she wants to see. She wants to help people when they're the most vulnerable. When your health is in danger, that is, there's nothing more vulnerable than that.
No.
And she's being that change. And she reminded me, she said, what you're doing in this podcast, you're trying to change others, and so you're doing something to try to change the world the way you want to see it. And I was like, oh, shit, I think I'm falling in love.
What did he say back?
No, very much.
I'm just joking. I know, because I know who that is. Go on, my friend. By a beautiful observation on her part, right?
Dude, she amazes me. One of the first things I said when we started this, I said the woman that attracts me is a smart woman, and she is so freaking smart. Yeah. Another thing when you were saying about success, someone once said, I don't remember who, success is not measured by how much money you make, how popular you become. Success is measured by the impact that you have in the world.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going. Yep.
Is about how many lives can you touch, how many lives can you change just by being you, by helping someone, and you help somebody to the point that you inspire them to help others. And imagine that domino set falling. Now suddenly we have a different environment. And regardless of whether they appreciate it or not, your heart was in the right place.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
In Puerto Rico, I read a sign that when I was in my 20s, and I remember it now, it said, rich is not who has more, rather who needs less. Brother, I was 21 when I read that.
Wow. Say that one more time.
Rich is not who has more, rather who needs less.
Let that sit for a second. That's wow.
in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic. And hell, I have family in Dominican Republic that lives in the campo, which is
I was gonna say, what is the campo?
that's like
The barrio.
like the
it's
hill. It's like the hills, like where
Yeah.
nobody lives.
Oh, the Hicks or something.
The
Yeah,
Hicks.
okay. Yeah.
They don't have electricity. They light candles for lights.
Yep.
They light fires to cook.
So very to the land and to the
Right.
nature. In Portugal, it's called the aldea.
Aldea.
Aldea. That's like the country, the Hicks. You know?
Right.
I don't want to say Hicks because don't say that.
Yeah. Like if they need to get mail, they'll grab their donkey and they'll ride up this hill that's like a mountain, go get the mail and then come back. It's like a 20-minute, 30-minute journey with the donkey.
Wow. Is Amazon delivered on a donkey?
They do not have cell phones. They do not have internet. They do not have TVs.
Wow. Are they happy?
The happiest people
Right?
in the world. Because they said, look, we have our little farm.
Oh my
We have
Let's go.
a river over here that we could take a shower there. When it rains, we take a shower outside. You ever taken a shower outside?
Once when it's after but go on. No, I'm gonna say no.
The
Wink,
best
but go on. Yeah.
experience ever. It is the
it's
best
awesome.
experience because over there, all the neighbors come out to shower at the same time. So suddenly, is a well, I mean, they're clothed,
Right. I get it.
but it's like almost like a party.
What a community, though, right?
Yeah, dude. They all have instruments. They play instruments and they sing. So that's their music.
How beautiful is that?
They'll go to the barrio, so to speak, to get
That's what I was. The barrio. Yeah.
to buy beer or to buy a bottle on the weekends, and they just hang out weekends, and they'll take if somebody cooks, and it's like 7 or 8 of them. My family has like 3 or 4 houses there, and then their neighbors. Somebody cooks, and it feeds everybody.
So like the big vats and stuff where they're doing rice and the beans and then like all this
yes.
stuff. Like
And
big though, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
very, very big. They have mango trees, corn that grows there, beans. They grow everything. They have countless chickens, and they are the happiest people I've ever seen in my whole life.
Let's go there. Let's go
dude,
talk to them.
And the shit is the funny thing is like over here, you have internet.
Yeah.
You have phones. You have a computer in your pocket. You have all these great things.
All these bills.
Oh yeah, and still the saddest people ever with all this.
Yeah.
We're still sad.
Yeah.
Yet these guys have next to nothing. You can't buy that happiness.
I don't want to sit here and dissect their happiness. I'd rather inspect it and go there ourselves. I'm going to hazard a guess that that's not unique to them. I believe there's probably multiple cultures in every country that's like that. It's a simplified existence, is it not?
Yeah, is as simple as it could be.
Kind of like Gilligan's Island, like Robinson Crusoe, as primitive as can be.
My sister went over there a couple years back. Said out of the entire time that she was in the country, she went to the resorts, to the capital, stayed in a few hotels here and there. She said her
San
favorite.
Juan, right? San Juan.
That's in Puerto Rico.
What are you talking about now?
Dominican Republic.
Oh, I did.
No, Puerto Rico has places like that
I was
as well.
going to say they have to.
Yeah. But in DR specifically, she said out of everything, the best part of her trip was when she was in the campo.
Why do you think, real quick? I don't want to dissect
because the people, the family there, are genuinely happy. They're not trying to impress you with their clothes. They're not impressed with your clothes or whatever you wearing.
Or what car you're driving. If
They're
you're
not
driving
impressed
a
with
car,
none of that.
yeah.
They have a donkey. You know what I'm
burro.
saying? Un burro, exactly. And they're perfectly happy with their burro.
Question for you before we get into this then. Do you think that I would imagine there is, but do you think there's like mental health issues? Do you think that there's depression, anxiety there?
Dude, they are the happiest people in the world, man. They are happy. They don't care. This is the only thing they care about. They care if they eat.
Of course.
And their family's okay.
And
That's it.
shelter, right?
That's it. Yeah, their shelter is they have, if it's a strong storm, they got to rebuild the roof. It's like a piece of aluminum.
Right.
That's blocking it.
Simple life.
Very, very simple is and they're very, very, very happy.
You hear that also in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
You hear it in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
right by the Mediterranean. There's people in Portugal, you know. I think it wasn't that, I mean, it feels like 10 years ago. It's probably 20, 30 years ago, where like the last town in Portugal was connected to electricity. Not all the houses, but, you know, some point in the town was connected. And I thought to myself, it's kind of a shame. You know, it's like, not that you don't want them to modernize, but what you just described, you do that to all the different cultures, it goes away. And what are you bringing in with that energy, that electricity? You're bringing in all the nonsense we just talked about, right?
Yeah.
You're bringing all the ghosts into your house so you could run around the kitchen and scream like Taylor Swift and Anti-Hero. And it's so funny because they're playing their own music. We talked about the importance of music. They're playing their own music, so it's them doing it. How do we go to a place like that here?
That doesn't exist because nobody's going to go to a place they don't have Wi-Fi. Coño, look at where we gone. You know what I'm saying? Look at where we gone.
Well, think about what I just said. The management of the energies. It's not just energies like emotions. It's the energies of time on the internet. It's the energies of us wasting time just flipping through TikTok mindlessly, right? It's the energies of us, you know, sending out these hateful things online, or even in cars cutting each other off. It happened again today. I stopped myself. I'm like, here we go again. And I actually have a challenge for everybody and for you, Frankie. When's the last time that, for me, it was probably last week, that you laid on the horn and you really, you know, coño, on a guy that cut you off, or a woman or something?
Yesterday. Dude, the light. How
I pushed the wrong button.
I saw this girl, I think it was on TikTok. She said, look, it's okay to be gay.
Yep.
It's okay to be straight.
Yep.
It's okay to be black, white, Latino. It's okay. What is not okay is for you to sit at a yellow light when we both could have fucking made it. And that was my thing yesterday, because the light was yellow and we both could have made it. And they're there, and I'm like,
same problem today. And I had to catch myself. I don't want to go down this road, but here's a challenge, though. The next time that you feel that rage, like I did today, like I did last week, and I laid on the horn, challenge yourself to either let it go and Elsa it, you know, Frozen, let it go. I swear I'll stop singing. Or try to make them laugh, or make yourself laugh about it. Because I think if we let something that ridiculous, right? And I think it's ridiculous.
Yes, it is. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Finish my sentence. If we let that ...
How the hell are you going to go through the rest of your day? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the minimum. If that's your biggest problem, you have a good life. Right?
Preach.
Just say it. It's coño. You know.
Seriously, right?
Yeah.
I don't, Frankie, you don't even know the person. It's not like they're doing it to you personally, Frankie. You 203 FU. We want Soto. I'm a Mets fan. Go to hell, coño.
Yeah, you know,
they don't know you.
It could be a 18-year-old just learning how to drive, and they were taught to, when it's yellow, slow down.
Or a 16-year-old girl who's scared. It's her
yes,
second or third
exactly.
time,
You know
right?
what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you know what I thought of when I was in one of the support group meetings, when they said a verse, and they said, you know, is there something that you could have done differently? And I was like, oh man, that was me in traffic. And it was like, yeah, you know, if you want to be a Christian,
Right.
you know, try to act like a Christian, in the sense of, you know, instead of criticizing or whatever, you know, try to be empathetic.
Support.
You know, because you don't know what's happening on the other side. You know, your reaction could have a negative impact. And as a Christian, I'm sure you don't want that. And I was like, so we went around the table, as we do, you know, were you guilty of this? I'm like, yeah.
So what I just said, really, it hit you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's no coincidences, my friend. Let me end this part of it and go into our next thing, because it's an hour 14 in.
We're an hour 14
Hour
in.
14 and I want to get this. We will get this down, because we're gonna do G therapy. We're gonna write down a little short list of little things that we could help, at least 5. I would hope, where we could give to anybody listening. Eventually, we're gonna post this. We have to post this one now that has Taylor Swift. like some tangible things and that's one of the first ones. Try to not yell at somebody in another car or truck, even if they cut you off, because if you can't deal with someone that has no idea who you are, right? If that's your coworker, beat the crap out of them after, but then you're not going to be able to, if you can't handle those emotions, someone that doesn't know anything about you, you can't handle the emotions around you and the stuff, right? Let me tell you a really quick story, and then I'm going to ask you some questions, and we'll move on, or vice versa. This one shocked me. Not shocked me, but really impacted me. I don't know if it's true, but it's one I've heard multiple places. So there's a man on a subway, and he's got his 3 kids are running around. It's a busy subway, car, right? So it's busy. You know, people are hanging from the thing and whatever. And his kids are zigzagging in between the people, and they're just, you know, my mom would be like, "Oh my God, these children! He should do something about these children." And the dad, the entire time, is just looking he's ignoring them. He's looking out the thing, right? And finally, a lady gets really annoyed, and she goes up to him and goes, "Sir, can you please do something about your kids?" And he looks up and he goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. We just got back from the hospital. Their mom just died." I'm getting emotional. They must be handling it different than me. I'm sorry, I spaced out. Kids, come here. Can you imagine that? Like, if that's a true story? Like, it's making me emotional just now, thinking about that. And the woman supposedly was like, whoa. You know, like, he's going through a trauma right there alive. He's lost. He doesn't even know. And the kids are running around. They can't comprehend the situation they're in. And look, I would have said the same thing, right? Let's be honest. My mom would have said it, my dad. But imagine being that lady thinking, oh my God, I was thinking about myself and the people around here, and this guy probably needs the biggest hug ever. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know what's in those cars. Because I've been that guy in the car where I almost ran a red light because I was like crying because of what happened to me this January of 2024, where my head was scrambled. And I was, Frank, I was leaving. I'll go into more detail. Let's just say something that happened to me January of this year. I was forced to go someplace else. And I was pulling my travel trailer, big, tall, 40-foot trailer behind my truck, where I'd been traveling around the country and stuff. I didn't know I was on a parkway where there was going to be a bridge that would have destroyed my trailer thing. If it wasn't for a driver that pulled up and beeped, and he said, and he pointed, he's like, the bridge. And I go, oh my God, thank you. I was in a mental coma. I was in shock. Mm-hmm. I pulled off at the last possible exit before my trailer, the top, would have been ripped off of it. It was like the something parkway here in, New York State, where you're not supposed to have trucks on it. I didn't know. Imagine if that guy would just laying, you idiot, get out of it. But he took the time, like, roll down your window. It's like, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I zoned out, and I got off the last effing exit. It was like God helping me. You know what I mean? You never know who's in the car and what's going through their head.
Wow.
I need a moment, so.
Yeah. Brother, I'm really glad you touched on that because, we started this for a reason, and now we're going to touch on other things. And what you just mentioned was so freaking deep because we could be very impatient and sensitive, not being mindful of what another person is going through. And if we were to understand that, our perspective would be completely the opposite. We wouldn't be the rushy, annoying, the worst versions of ourselves while doing this and not even considering what the other person may be going through. And so I'm glad you said that. That was very, very deep. And
thank you.
I will add to that.
Go for it.
I think it was the same man. He gets home after burying his wife. He starts putting his stuff away, her stuff away, starts cleaning up the house. He takes some pajamas that she had that she never wore because she was saving it for a special occasion. Starts putting away this fine china plates that they never ate in because they was waiting for a special occasion. This bottle of wine that they never drank because they were waiting for a special occasion. The man finally sits down and, coño, I'm going to do it to myself. Sits down, puts his hands on his face because he realized that the only special occasion that they had was the time they had together. And
he missed it.
He only realized that after she was gone, that it was like every day they was together is a special occasion because you're together, and that really touched me because after my separation, I mean, we had our bad moments and everything, but it's like, but sugar, I wish I would have appreciated more things, like the times we weren't arguing or fighting. Yeah. And yeah, it made me think of that. And regrettably, coño, even to this age, 50, still to this age, I hate to admit that only death puts life into perspective.
Always. We've talked about this.
And we forget about it because, we just live and we just go forward, and we forget about this part that is, this time is not ours. Tomorrow's not promised. I've read something not so long ago that said time is free, but it's priceless.
Right.
Is yours, but you can't keep it.
Right.
And it went on, and I was like, oh, Chicago, this is real stuff. And, so I'm glad you brought that up because,
thank you.
When I drive home now, I'm going to be very sensitive to everybody
Coño!
there. And
I love you.
Just think about that gentleman. It's like, oh, I don't know if he just came from a funeral.
Yeah,
and
listen, not to say there's not some dipshits out there, but aren't they, unless they do something heinous and just horrible, aren't they worthy of forgiveness and a second chance and getting better?
Of course.
And why am I in my truck for those 30 seconds and an area that's random, at 5 whatever p.m. Why is it up to me to be the judge and jury of the, and inflict? I gotta prove to you that whatever, you suck, and I'm gonna give you the whatever. You know what I mean?
For the 3-second inconvenience, it says we could do better. We could do better as humans. We could certainly do better.
So here's one of the things that I wanted to do. We could end on this because we're 1 hour 23 minutes in. I was hoping that we could talk directly to an audience that we don't know if we have yet, but I think one day.
One day
we will.
We will. December 27th.
Yes, we're going live December 27th, 2024. It's Taylor Swift's birthday right now. Happy birthday, Taylor. One day she'll listen. Maybe not. Who knows? So I wanted for us to put together, I was going to do a list here of, I don't know why it says that. We don't even have to do a list, whatever. We could just talk about it. I can make a list after. About tangible things that we could talk about right now. I'll start it and you could, whatever.
Okay.
Anyone listening, if they're going through a tough trauma now, we won't even say what it is. We won't even relegate it to divorce or a loss of someone special or anything. Anything that put, in honor of our girl, put a blank space there. Okay. Put whatever you want there. Mm-hmm. Something that has you can't shake off, right? Something that's really covered you with some stank of depression and anxiety. And again, we're not therapists. We're not therapists. If you have any whatever issues that are very serious, like we've talked about, 988. Please reach out to someone. We're not therapists, but we're here to help and tell our story, and I think provide value to those who need it. Correct?
Yes, and 988, the people that work there are freaking amazing.
You said they were incredible.
I called them twice in the last 2 months. They are amazing, and I spoke to both people for over an hour. They're patient. They're awesome. They're amazing. I don't think they get enough credit. I think they should get more credit.
Well, I'm going to give you some credit, my friend, for admitting that you called it, because I don't think a lot of men would admit that, but we're not men. We're modern Renaissance men, or in your case,
Hombre del pueblo.
Hombre del pueblo, man of the people, man of the town, right?
Yeah.
Whichever town it may be. Hopefully it's that amazing town in Dominican Republic. But let me start it off. I would like to think that one of the things, part-time health, I just realized what I wrote there. One of the things that if I'm going through that, if I'm having thoughts that are going to be dangerous, please talk to somebody, right? I mean, that's do I even have to put it there? Yes, I will. Talk to somebody. So, and you know what? Screw it. We can do it real quick. Talk to someone.
And sometimes it's, talking to someone, because that's what helped me.
Very important.
988 is awesome. And, if you have a subject that you would like us to discuss, again, we're not therapists. We'll do our best to try to relate. Our specific issue is separating from our longtime partners. For me, 1/3 of my life.
Yeah.
And more or less for you too.
Yeah.
Just about 1/3 of your life.
Yeah.
With kids, and we had to start over. This is the area that we suffered in.
Yep.
And this is why we made this, is to try to help not only our fellow men, but also our sisters also to, you could listen, you could email us your questions. Email address is Gtalk for us, Gtalk, the letter G, talk, the number 4, us at gmail.com.
Yep.
And email us. We're dedicated to this.
Yep.
I could say that with full confidence. We're dedicated to this. Is Friday afternoon, and we both have to work tomorrow at 5:00 in the morning.
Yep.
And
we're here. We're practicing.
We're here because, again, the change we want to see is going to start with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gtalk for us means not just us. It means whoever wants to be part of this group. Us,
exactly.
Right. It's always us. It's never them. There is no them. No. There's only us.
Exactly.
Right. And
exactly.
we talk amongst ourselves to help each other and to protect each other. So thank you, Frankie, for that. What's something I said? Talk to someone. We both say talk to someone. Either someone you confide in, obviously, but you need to talk to somebody and remind yourself that someone other than you exists in your pain, and they might not be in pain, and they could help you with some of that energy and pull some of that from you, or at least help you direct it, right? What else would you advise somebody having gone through some sort of a trauma or something? In other words, something simple, and then we can talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, what would you do?
Journal.
Oh, yes.
Please start a journal. Write the dates, the time. And
I put journal, memorialize, like kind of, right.
In the journal. And for me, this is probably the biggest thing that helped me. It helped me just as much as church did, just as much as the support group, just as much as our conversations. I mean, this is the top thing that helped me, was journaling, because sometimes I wake up at 3 a.m, 2 a.m. I got nobody to talk to.
Nope.
So I get in my journal and I just start writing.
And there's, in your head, you might not know right then and there what it means.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do?
Yeah, write it out. Write it out. And just write. I can't tell you, I've started my journal October 9th. Where December 13th, I have close to 80,000 words.
There you go. Yeah.
And
And you go back and read them and kind of analyze them.
I did not read my journal until I think almost 30 days that I was writing.
But you reviewed some of the stuff.
I go back every
Right.
now and then whenever I feel a little, I go back to the beginning and maybe I skip a few days, and it's just you see your progress.
Yep.
And once you see your progress, you get a little bit of hope. And in addition to that, you're showing strength. You have the
Absolutely.
courage to write down. You're only writing this to yourself, and you can't lie to yourself. You can lie to anybody else, but this is yours. It's private. And at the end, is self-care. You're saying I care enough to express myself, documented, so I could refer back to it one day. Maybe when I heal, I could help someone else be the change that you want to see.
Yeah, and on top of that, one of the other things I did was I also, with my phone, the voice notes.
Yes.
And I told you about that, right? Where sometimes if I'm driving and I can't stop to write it and I got this energy, again, I'm convinced, I'll say it one more time. At least I could speak for myself. I think Frankie will agree on this. I believe that our success in life, at least my success in life, is understanding and successfully managing the energies inside of me in a balance with the energies outside of me and the interchange of those energies, what I project, what I bring in, and blah, 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 right? And if I'm going through some trauma like I did and like you did, right? That energy's in your head. It's in your body. You got to get it out somehow, right? And sometimes, and we've talked about this, no amount of working out is going to get that energy out.
Yeah.
Right. So identifying and memorializing it in such a way where it is out. You've either spoken it, which for me was to hear me speak to myself, it was powerful. The inflection and everything. Sometimes I would be crying. My voice would be, or I'd be angry. I got it out. Was it totally got out? No, not necessarily. But enough where I feel a little bit better. And then I went back and listened to it and I'd see a pattern. And to your point, I would start finding patterns. I'd be able to identify it. It's also great if you're going to work with a therapist to present if you feel comfortable, right? And you could show them your progress and what have you. And in my case, kind of see a little bit of a psychosis that was going on while I was transferring from whatever caterpillar to a butterfly. Some people might laugh at that. Some people might think it's garbage, but that's what I did. And whichever way, man, right? Just get it out of your system. That's energy that's stuck inside of you that needs to go.
Yeah, and you know what? Most people, especially are when we started this, it was for the demographic of 40, 50-year-old men that are separating, go through the divorce, having a bad go about it.
Yep.
It almost quickly developed to it's not going to be men, it's going to be people because the women do go through this as well.
Absolutely.
And
oh hell yeah.
And there's a lot of women's support groups out there. I don't see too many men's support groups. I'm lucky to find the one I did.
Right.
But, and then the therapists, man.
How much are they?
To me, I never seen a therapist before. And to try to find one, it's like I got to read their bio, go through their education history, all this stuff. And they gave me like 50, 60 of them, and I'm like, oh, this is giving me anxiety.
Where do I start? Yeah, the solution to your anxiety.
You know what I'm saying?
Is giving you anxiety.
And then my insurance sucks because I got to pay all this money up front. So basically, I got to pay for the first 3,000. No, I'm sorry, the first
4,000, right?
400 sessions on my own. So then they could cover 80% of whatever the cost is.
That's insane.
So I like to think people our age are educated, or at least smart enough that they could say, look, this is my problem. This is maybe the solution.
Right.
Okay. And we're laying down the blueprint here. First, talk about it. Okay.
Right.
And you wake up at 2 a.m, right.
Right.
Okay. Because you could go back to it and say, okay, if my friend was to come to me and read me this is what they're feeling, this would be my advice.
Correct. There's something you could diagnose now, and you could respond to.
Exactly.
Right.
And it helps. And trust me, after for me, it took just about 4 weeks. And this was when I was doing the 30-day no contact thing. Sometime in week 4 that I'm a few days away, I no longer cared about reaching the 30 days.
You just wanted to get better. Right?
I was loving the person I was becoming.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. I haven't felt this kind of peace. I don't remember since when. And suddenly, I don't want this. I love her.
Right.
But I don't want that no more. This is what I want. I feel peace. I feel, like, yeah, I'm healing, but I could feel my soul smiling. I haven't felt that in years.
Right.
Like, so
where have you been all my life?
Yeah.
Right? Or at least for the last
my
X number of years.
projection shifted from, doing this to try to get my ex back to, no, let's make Frank the best version of himself, because I realized at that point, that's the road that I was on. And that's the road that I'm going to stay in, because I do want to be the best version of myself.
Yeah.
And it started with the journal.
Yeah.
It started with, shit, brother. You know what I'm saying? When we started talking, and the guys, this is the blueprint to it.
Well, what did we start with? Talk to someone, and then journal. Right.
Mm-hmm.
In the next one, I'm gonna one of us could add to it. I have an idea, but I'd like to get at least 5 before we're done. We're at an hour 36, but keep going. Well, no, finish your sentence. You were just I interrupted you. I apologize.
Yeah, and I think I said in the last podcast, I was like, this insurance thing is freaking bull crap.
Yeah.
I don't need a therapist, because they're probably happily married.
You're right.
They don't know what the hell I'm going through.
Right.
And it's like, shit, you know what I was going through, and you was probably the best therapist. Shit, I would give you the copay, and
right back at you.
you
you could keep your copay, but thank you.
And it worked. It worked. I am a different person.
Work in process. Right?
Yes, I have a long way to go, but I breathe easier.
Yeah.
I could get through most sentences without getting overly emotional.
And look, there's no such thing as over. You're either emotional or you're not, right?
Touche.
Yeah, right. And I don't mean to correct you. I'm just saying.
No, it makes sense.
As modern Renaissance men, there's no I'm overly farting or overly burping.
Depends.
Depends who's next. Depends who's next to you. But you know what I'm saying? You're either dealing with your emotions or you're not, right? And when it comes to these types of things, and I start getting, you either deal with it or you don't. You don't kind of deal with it. I'm kind of dealing with it. No, you're not.
Yeah, that means you're not dealing with it.
You're not dealing with it, right? You either change your situation or you don't. And if you don't, you're not done. You have to change your attitude towards the situation, or that bleep is going to chase you like those ghosts at Taylor Swift's anti-hero video until you deal with it. You could run around the house all you want. Guess what, Coño? They run just as fast as you do.
Yeah.
Right? So let me add something, if I may, unless you have something compelling. I'm going to speak for both of us, and I'm going to say, you got to keep yourself busy. You have to do something.
Yeah.
Like, do something. I don't know if there's a better way to say that, but because if you're sitting there in your house constantly and you're replaying everything in your head and you're just punishing yourself with these thoughts and these feelings and these emotions, like I did.
I did.
Right? You got to do something. Get out and do something. I think there might be a better way to say it.
I would say the word for you.
Go for it.
Being proactive.
I want to be even more specific than that, because I think that's no different what I'm saying. About what though? I mean, I don't want to say hobby.
No. Okay, so we could say proactive, practice self-care. We could say many things, but when I say proactive, it's like go to the gym.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
you go to the gym because the journal is mental, gym is physical, and one complements the other.
So can we say, and then we could always correct this after, like do something proactive?
Yeah, be proactive. It's like, okay, I am feeling this way. I'm feeling awful. I can't stop crying. And it's like, okay, you know what? You cried enough. How about for the next 20 minutes, you don't cry. You're not going to feel the way you feel. You're gonna be proactive and do something productive.
Right. So that if that's reading a book, if that's, doing a puzzle, going to the gym, going for a walk. Right?
Do the laundry, clean the bathroom,
Right.
make your bed like as perfect as it could be.
Right.
Write in your journal.
Right.
Take a nice shower. You know what? I had said something I learned during my 30 days is during the pain, you can find pleasure in it. And for me,
Sure.
I'll never forget, it was November something, early November. I left the gym and still thinking about my wife and, everything I'm going through. It was a warm day in November. And I remember I put my gym bag in the car and I just stood outside and I was like, this is wonderful.
Beautiful day. You're acknowledging what's around
I'm
you.
acknowledging something that is right in front of me that I could feel it. Suddenly, what I was thinking about just left because I'm appreciating the very small thing of the weather.
That's such a beautiful. Can I piggyback on that real quick?
Yeah.
I think I know, at least from myself, I can't pretend to or pretend to know anyone that's listening, if anyone ever listens. Hi, Taylor. But there's different types of people. There's people that need to feel things more physically, that they would benefit from a walk or working out.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that are more cerebral that would benefit from doing a puzzle or something or going to read a book. And then there's people that are more, I don't want to say thoughtful or kind of like would appreciate a sunset, a sunrise, poetry, something like that, right?
Whatever is your taste.
Right.
Whatever is your taste, and is as unique as you are.
Right.
To me, I like warm weather. Especially in November, that's a treat.
That's a treat, depending on what part of the country you're in. If you're in DR and that yeah.
In let's see, in the morning, I love coffee.
Oh,
and
me too. Yeah.
I put my coffee to brew. I brush my teeth, and that first zip, oh man, is magic.
But Frankie, there were times probably when you were so depressed. I know I was so anxious, where nothing like that was working for me, and I had to remind myself, enjoy this cup. Put the phone down. Put the effing phone down. That's why I started going to Starbucks and parking my truck there. People probably think I'm a weirdo there. And having my moment, watching the cars come on the highway, off the highway, with the Starbucks that we go to normally, right?
I always called it a coffee shop because if Starbucks wants to be named here, they need to endorse us. And I'm sorry that I sound like the business end of this, but I'm just trying to say
Preach.
we're going to touch a lot of lives, and anybody, and this is not a for-profit podcast,
right,
but
right. But I mean, yeah, you understand what I'm saying. It's something where, talk to someone, journal, memorialize what you're going through, because you might forget the specifics of it at the moment that it happens later, and then you might not notice a pattern. It's no different than journaling your workout program, right? If someone, I used to do that all the time. People are like, you used to work out? Kid, come on. I was a lot heavier than this. And I would journal and see, oh wow, I've gone up in weight on my arms dramatically over the last few months. But you know what? Those legs, I got to focus on those legs, right? And you wouldn't know that unless you saw the progression of, documenting, the journey. So what's another thing you would add up here, Frankie? Talk to someone, journal, memorialize, do something proactive. What else would you put up there? Not to put you on the spot, if you want to
compliment yourself.
How so?
It wasn't till my fourth week of no contact that I went through a lot of anxiety. I called you that week.
Yep.
And I said, I don't know why it was happening. Normally, I could try to figure it out and work on it. This day, I could not. And I went back to my journal to just read. And that was the first time I read my journal since I began writing in it. And that same day was the same day that I called 988 for the second time. And that day was real. That day was real for me. And I went back to my journal and I started reading from day 1, October 9th, all the way through the present day.
What did you find out?
I found out that I haven't spoken to my wife in 26, 27 days. My wife was 17 years. That meant that I respected my decision and my boundaries, that I love myself enough to respect my decision and my boundaries. And I took it very seriously. That is incredible strength.
Hell yeah.
And to initiate something like that, something that I thought I was going to fail in even before I took it, showed courage that I said, I'm taking this journey and I'm going to stick it through. Making a decision like that takes courage.
I got number 5. I got number 5. You ready? Based on what you just said. You ready? Be disciplined in your healing.
Disciplined. That's right. I was extremely disciplined. But after I read the whole thing and I'm realizing, this took courage. You know, I showed strength through this. I showed discipline through this. The only thing I did not notice, not once, did I compliment myself for making it each day.
Right. To remind yourself, hey, I did something good today.
Yeah.
I put whatever, there's a million in it. There's a blank space there, but I used the brick on the wall. Mm-hmm. I added another brick on the wall and of building my new me.
Yeah. I went to church. I did a good deed. I went to the gym. I worked my 2 jobs. I helped my friend that needed help. I took food to a family member I have at a home. Not once that I say, Frank, how fucking awesome are you? Look at what you're doing. All with a broken heart. Look at what you're doing. Come on, brother. You need a pat on the back. You know what I'm saying?
Remember what we said earlier at the very beginning about hate? It matters the words you use.
Yeah.
And you talk, whether you're talking to other people or to, say it with me, yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody's in there, right, Taylor? Someone's in there listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
If no one's around, it may not be another person. I have my theories. That's for another time. But someone's listening. You're always listening to yourself and the words you use and the beliefs you spew and all the nonsense. Someone's always listening.
Yeah, if you say it enough to yourself that, I'm never going to lose weight. I'm never going to lose weight.
Guess what? You're right.
You're never going to lose weight.
What's the old saying, Frankie? Do you know the saying where it's like, if you believe you can or you can't, either way, you're right.
Yeah.
I think I butchered it, but it's
I never heard it, but that sounds very accurate.
It's something like whether you believe that you can or whether you believe that you can't, either way, you're right.
Yeah.
Because it starts with your mindset.
Right.
We manifest. Tony Robbins talks about that. I don't know if you know Tony Robbins, the big time. I can't believe I'm going to teach you Tony Robbins. He's amazing. Mm-hmm. Big time inspirational guy. He goes kind of what we're doing here, but he does it on stage. Thousands and thousands of people show up. He sells at arenas now. There's an amazing thing. We need to end soon, by the way, where he was with a group of people doing an inspirational show on 9/11, and he live, it's recorded, walked them through 9/11 was happening that morning, and he was talking to people. It's an amazing video. He's an amazing guy. But he talks about that. You manifest the world that you create, that's out there. It's not for you. We can go down this path. We don't have enough time now. I'd love to read this. Maybe this is part 1 of multiple. I think this is the genesis of what we do. So we're going to talk about this constantly. Mm-hmm. But I think part of manifesting a better you and a better whatever you have around you is your mindset. It's how you even talk to yourself. Like we talked about earlier about how you treat others in a car. How do you treat yourself? You drop something and you say, coño, you dumbass. I used to say that to myself all the time. Mm-hmm. I used to say, kid, you're such a dumbass. What the fuck is wrong with you? And then I'm like, why would I talk to myself? I wouldn't want to talk to someone else that way. Why would I talk to myself that way?
Yeah.
Do I not love myself?
We're our own worst critics.
But I mean, there's one thing being a critic, and there's one thing being a bully.
Abusive.
And being a self-bully.
Yeah.
I'm done with that.
Yeah.
And people think that because I came across my entire life as overconfident and sometimes arrogant and whatever, maybe now people think I am, who knows, whatever. That's your problem, not mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, truly loving yourself and accepting yourself and talking to yourself in a way that's supportive, that's how you practice with other people, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
If you can't even talk to yourself in a way where you, here, I'll put it up there. Forget talking to someone. Talk to yourself, right? Journal, memorialize, which will solidify the talking to yourself. Do something proactive. Compliment yourself, right? Treat yourself and be disciplined in your discipline in your hearing, healing, whatever. Maybe I misspelled that. But if you don't talk to yourself in a supportive, beautiful way, you ain't going to talk to someone else in that way. You might, but how long is that going to last?
Yeah.
So, this is wonderful. We're at an hour, 50 minutes, so we got to go in a little bit.
Hour 50.
Hour 50, bro.
Jeez.
You know what? That's fine because that'll make people want to come back and listen, right? And we can do this again. I could talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I
You got this look on your face like, I need to hear this back.
I do want to hear this back.
I'll post it tonight.
I think this is the direction I saw this going, and Christ, if this was live right now,
Wow, right?
I think people, especially if they're even they feel even 1% of what we felt at that time.
Absolutely.
You know, I think it will reach them, and they will have they will find themselves being proactive, going to that list and saying, you know what, let me take a screenshot of this list because I think I want to start somewhere, because I do have to start somewhere. And
let me fix this. I was going to write, be disciplined in your healing. I mean, we came up with 5 quick tips. That's not the end all of tips. I mean, there's a lot of things, but right off the bat, we came up with that. I think you made a compelling case that these things work.
Yeah.
Right?
Guys, I will tell you, my wife was the love of my life. I treasure her. I love Christ. I mean, everybody in her family, everybody in my family, all of our friends, they know that I love this woman more than anything. I told her, even to her family, nobody, dead or alive, loves her more than me. When I did my 30-day no contact and I got to day 27, 28, that I see the person I was turning into, I chose my happiness over the love of my life. And the decision wasn't even difficult for me.
Right. Absolutely.
And
because you have to solidify the X before you could add anything to the X ourselves, before you could love someone. Sorry to interrupt, but you have to love yourself.
it starts there, bro. It starts there.
Or else you cannot show, even if you do love someone else, you cannot love them fully if there's something inside of you that's broken.
Yeah.
And they ain't going to fix it.
And it's like that with anybody. Like, for example, you know, if you meet a girl and she is going through something and, you know, she's beautiful and everything, but if she's going through something so bad and, you know, you kind of like her, you know, it's the same thing. It's gonna she's not gonna be willing to accept because she's still going through something, or if she does accept,
Right.
you know, you're gonna find out later on, and now suddenly you are in a position where it's like, oh shoot, I didn't see this coming.
Yep. You're going to be blindsided on something you should have seen a mile away.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And, you know, for this reason, it's like, guys, you know, start with yourselves, heal yourselves, be the best version of yourself. When somebody's confident, nice, loving, doesn't get mad at drivers that don't go on the yellow lights, and, you know, they're just such in a good mood, that attracts
Law of attraction.
That same energy.
Yep.
It
Law of
attracts
attraction.
that same energy, and you will meet the most amazing people when you are the best version of yourself.
I mean, are we not an example of this? Is anything in life a coincidence, my friend?
No.
There are, say it with me, there are no coincidences in life. Or just coincidence. There's no coincidences.
A 10th man will probably come and rebuttal, but that's okay, because we
say that facetious, but I truly believe everything does happen for a reason. But I think it's a throwaway term. You need to know why and how it impacts you and how you're going to make it better. We got to get going here. I'm going to play us out. I'd love to do this again.
Yes, and to all of our viewers, again, any feedback, any questions or anything, we're doing this for you guys, man. We're trying to change the world. We're starting with ourselves. Again, we're not therapists, but we can share our experience, what worked for us. Hopefully it works for you.
We're authorities of our own experience, are we not?
That's correct. So, our email is gtalkforus@gmail.com. And you got one of the most amazing people over here, my man Jay.
Let me hold up the mirror. You mean yourself, right?
No, I'm pointing at you, brother.
You.
You're good, you are good.
Thank you for sharing what you shared. Like, dude, I didn't tell you what we were going to talk about. We walked right into it. We both got really emotional, but I feel fine with that. I don't give a damn.
No, it's okay.
It doesn't bother me because this is, say it with me, we're modern Renaissance men.
Yeah, and this is what? This is a safe space.
Safe space.
Yeah, and Gtalk, safe space, baby.
Safe space. Well, listen, my friends, thank you for listening. Hopefully somebody will listen. Hi, Taylor. Go see Anti-Hero, especially Dermot Kennedy's version of Anti-Hero on YouTube. But he went out with a bang, and so will we. My friend, Frankie, thank you.
Thank you, brother.
We were the best thing you've ever had. Until next week.
See you next week, guys. Bring your friends. Salud.
God bless everybody. Salud. Again, if you're feeling anything, 988. We're going to talk about this again because I don't want anyone to go out with a bang, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
God bless all of you.
Salud.
Salud.